I think we're ready to go. So, welcome back to Dunkin Junk, your weekly resin casting live stream. Last week we decided to cast some pine needles. So I'm going to try and get these up in front of the camera here. They turned out pretty awesome. I actually think these are going to be some really spectacular blanks. Can't really tell. We did a couple different things. These were poured in a tube and like lengthwise. I can't really tell. You can't see these too much, but you can see the ends. Anyway, we got a couple blanks. I'm going to turn 2 Sierra pens. I wanted to try each of the we did this in a 3 blank mold. Let me just kind of show what we did just for giggles. We put them sideways in this, and then I cut them out lengthwise. So you kind of have the grain of those things going sideways a little bit, but it's pretty interesting because you have that kind of the ends on this side, but on this side you have like long grain, I guess you would kind of call it. I don't know if that's just the way that I did it. I'll have to kind of look back and see what we did. But so we're going to turn one of those on a Sierra, and then this is one of those tubes where we just jammed them in there. So I have the other one of these chucked up already. So pretty cool, actually. Pine needles surprised me. So we have our gouge, just using a regular chisel. Let me get the speed set right. We're going to spin it up at 4,000 RPMs. And this is a Sierra style blank. I usually just go for Sierras if I'm kind of testing stuff. And I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be. It's just nice to be able to just do a one blank type thing, and I wanted to do both of them. So we used Alumilite Slow Set Clear on this blank, and this is the one that was pink with some silver in it. I just wanted to kind of see how that turned out. We also did one that had orange and purple in it. Here we go. Probably may need to sharpen this. I didn't do that yet. I'm just screwing it up. It's kind of dull. I gotta sharpen this thing. Sorry. So, there we go. First rule of Turning Club, sharpen your tools. So these should turn perfectly fine. There's not, ooh, that's kind of neat. Interesting. There's a few little air bubbly things. I don't know how much, if I got everything totally dry. I only kind of threw them in the oven for those pine needles in the oven for a little bit. And the other issue was I was kind of trying to do a bunch of casting at once last week, and that didn't really pan out so well. So I'm not that surprised that there's a few little air pocket things. The resin might have been kind of setting up when I put it in there. But this is actually pretty interesting with these stripes. So like I said, it's cutting great. Cutting just like normal Alumilite. And because it's kind of a wood organic material rather than like a plastic, the Alumilite's going to grab onto those pine needles real well and adhere to it. Alright, so let's stop and take a peek at this guy. There we go. Ooh, it is looking pretty awesome. It almost looks like a bamboo or something. We're almost there, actually. This is another reason why I like Sierras. There's really not a lot of shaping that you have to do. They're pretty relative. I mean, you could just go dead flat. I usually like to put a little camber over mine. But we're really close already. lot of times what I do on these ends, and I definitely, again, I still have a lot to learn about turning, in general, but the way that I do it is I'll usually come in and I actually I'll rest the tool, just barely touch the bushing, and then come in just to get it even, and then come back and flatten that angle out a little bit from the other side. It seems to work pretty good. You get things kind of lined up. I mean, there's a ton of ways to do this, but that's kind of the way that I typically do it. I'll come back. Kind of flatten that out. Now, I don't like the big bulge that's coming right here. Cut that back a little bit, make it thinner. Not bad. So, alright, so it's looking pretty good. Then in the end, I usually just kind of sand any tool marks. I don't really worry too much about getting a perfect final cut. One thing I found is, I say this every week, I know, but just in case somebody's new out there and interested in turning and learning about it, I like this light. This helps a lot. Somebody made kind of a joke post about, or said something about these lights are for old people or something like that, and I'm like, man, it helps you see what you're doing. I don't care how old you are. It's generally you don't have, very good lighting on what you're doing. So I think I hear my dad coming in. That'll be exciting. Maybe he'll make a cameo appearance. Can't tell. That looks pretty good. I think I'm going to call that good. American, yeah, but the American Beauties only go to 3,000 RPMs. What's the point? They're great bowl turning lathes, but for me, they're kind of worthless. So it's looking pretty good. There is one big pit right there, which really kind of sucks. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the clip over that. And I'm just not going to worry about it for this anyway. Let's get to sanding. First thing I'm going to do is hit it with some 240 grit. And I have Abranet here. I was actually really surprised. I don't know how many of you guys watch Carl Jacobson's channel. He just put a video up. He's doing this series called Back to Basics. And he did number 5. And he was showing his grinder setup was one thing, and then he was talking about Abranet like he'd never heard of it before, and he just started using it, and it kind of blew my mind. So this is good stuff. Even Carl Jacobson likes it. All right, so start sanding this up a little bit. So I'm going to try and dry this off as good as possible. Take a peek at it. Let's see what it looks like. It still looks pretty good. Starting to shine up a little bit with the Alumilite. Pretty interesting blank. I like this. So you can get away with a little bit more with lighter colors. And I just kind of roll it around, And we'll move to the white diamond. This is about supposedly the conversion for grit level. The triple E is supposedly around 900 grit, I guess. I don't I don't know, but and then the white diamond is like your super high polish. And there's even different rouges that you can use. Some people say the blue one is even higher grit or whatever. I don't know. A lot of times you just kind of you're splitting hairs. It's all the same thing. So I got white diamond and it's working fine. But I need a drink. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. And then we're gonna. Oh, I got to charge up. I'm gonna put a little more of this white diamond. Oh, there's some triple in there. I want that. Add a little bit more. You don't need a lot. And then I'm gonna do. You know, I was putting in the scratches, I guess you would say, the triple E scratches lengthwise. And so the first thing that I do is I'm gonna come sideways and try and let the white diamond take those scratches out. And then I actually finish up lengthwise with the white diamond. I find that, and I don't know if it has to do with the curvature of the blank or what, but having the white diamond run lengthwise at the end, it seems, maybe it's just more time on it, I don't know, but it seems like I get a better polish that way. That's how I ended up. You can kind of vary the speeds when you're buffing. Something just really is stubborn, you've got a scratch that's a little deeper than you thought. You know, you can turn it up a little bit. That'll harden the wheel on the triple E, and it might help to get out deeper scratches that way. But I find that, you know, 900 to 1,000 generally works pretty well. Now this is looking pretty good without CA. I mean, I don't know that the pine needles are going to be super glossy, and there's a little bit of texture there. You know, it's not covered completely with a flat coat of CA glue or something. But I think it's a pretty cool looking pen. And there are a couple little pinholes and things here and there. So it's not a perfect pen. I don't think I'd sell this for $1,000, but you know, I think it's a pretty cool looking one. Well, I would sell it for $1,000. I don't think I'd get that. Now I got a little chunk. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's a little piece sticking up right here. And the wheel wants to rip that thing out. That's not very good. So I think I'm actually gonna finish up. Let's see, look at this. How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna finish up. I'm gonna get the tip of this thing. I really don't want that wheel pulling that fiber out. That's one good reason to lock it down with some CA. I'll get that end, and then I'm gonna flip it around the other way. The other way. And try and get the middle, this area. This. We're just about done. It looks pretty good. I'll get this on the video camera here that's close up. I would say that's pretty awesome looking. Let me look at that. Put it in front of the triple E wheel. I don't know if that's coming up. I can't see the screen, but I'm blown away at how good this turned out. I didn't think it would look this cool. So let's pull out the other kits. Same thing. This is the piece that we're gonna press in. I'm gonna get this out of the way. These are probably terrible camera angles actually, but I'll try and get a mount of some sort where it's looking and my hands aren't covering the lens every time. So, same deal, I'm just gonna stick this in there. Put this the right way. Something slimy on there. And let's take a look at this. Now I think I like this orientation, but I need to put it over that giant hole. There's a big pit right there. So I'm going to put the clip over that so we can't see it. It's not cheating, it's just smart. And clamp it in there. Hey, somebody followed. Who was it? Oh, I can't see. Dang it. Thank you for following. Make sure I got that nice and tight. And press the other piece together. And there we have it. Oh, tighten that up a little bit. There we go. This is pretty fabulous looking. I really like that pink. There we go on that one. Let me move the cameras over so that I can get better shots of these things where there's like more light. So hang on. We're going around the horn here. Shop tour. I can look at the screen and know that I'm actually showing you guys what I mean to show you. Hold this up. Hopefully you guys can see it. It turned out pretty sweet. I like it.